What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddy Live Show, episode number 195. I'm here with my man, Tim Bentley. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. You know, I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for so long. Been working on so many different projects, but I'm glad that we waited till now because it seems like we're working on the best one right now.
Yeah, everything's blowing up, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's amazing. I know you've been with me for like a year and a half.
Yeah,
even
man.
more than that.
Yeah, man.
And,
it's a long time.
It is a long time. Things are really starting to pick up and speed up. So
I love it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you keeping me in the loop. Maybe before we dive into that, you could just give your like a little self introduction on yourself, and then we'll jump in. Cool.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Like Eddie said, my name's Tim Bentley. I go online by Zeus One. Over the last 5 years, I've been working on platforms that benefit the average person. I'm a serial entrepreneur, was in brick and mortar plumbing business for 20 years in Phoenix, Arizona. When the housing market crashed in 2007, we took that opportunity to move our family out of that megapolis, and we moved to a small town in Colorado. And ever since then, I just kind of been working online, building and launching programs that help the average person. And then it's just kind of grown from there. The last project that I've been building out was Zeus Chariots, right? Play to earn, player versus player chariot racing game for Web3 that we're going to be using for a lot of humanitarian projects on the back end to help communities around the world. And then that's just kind of grown from there. I've tapped into a group of people that are out to change the world from a really altruistic point of view. They're not in it for the money. They're in it because this world is broken. The system is broken, and we want to do what we can to help fix it or replace it for some people.
100%, man. Yeah, what you said is it's like music to my ears because, yeah, you know, I've been following you for a while and definitely been working on a bunch of different things. You mentioned obviously Zeus's Chariots. That's something I'm involved in as well. I do get people ask me about it, and I would maybe you can explain a little bit more about Zeus's Chariots before we deep dive into the other ones.
Sure. So I came up with the concept for Zeus's Chariots off the heels of my DeFi program, Zeus's Bounty. And basically, I wanted to take advantage of the momentum that the play to earn space was building with games like Axie Infinity and Gods Unchained and all these other games that are coming out. You know, the play to earn space is in its infancy, right? Yeah. Potentially one of the largest industries in the world over the next 5 to 6 years. And right now it's just a little baby, right? So the whole world is going to be changing the paradigm of how we engage with movies, commercials, music, games. It's all going to change. It's all going to go from paying to be involved to getting paid to be involved. So when I was working on Zeus's Chariots, I'm an old school guy, right? I'm like 103 years old.
You look great, brother.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. It's our healing technology. It keeps me in shape.
That's one of the questions.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm an old school gamer. So I grew up, like, obviously I played Pong, right? Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong. When games started to get super complex, like when my kids were growing up and we were playing Madden, and it would take me longer to set up my character than to play the game. And then I would just get stumped by my 10-year-old. I'm like, video games are stupid. I don't want to play
Madden. I remember Madden. I mean, I would play with like legit people that loved football. And I would just be Hail Mary every time. Just that one seems to work all the time. So just keep going the Hail Mary. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. For me, it was like, you know, he'd intercept me every time I threw the ball, or you know, score would be like 73-2 or 3, you know.
Okay.
So when I was designing Zeus's Chariots, I wanted to make it simple and fun. So there was a space kind of missing in the play to earn. Yeah. And that is a high action packed, quick in and out type of game that doesn't take hours to play. Right. So a lot of these games, they take a long time. They're very involved. Yeah. One of the most popular games that was out there was Axie Infinity.
Yep, for sure.
And they had like over 3 million daily players at one point.
Unbelievable.
And then last year when crypto crashed, their economy crashed, right? Their Smooth Love Potion token went down to nothing.
Yeah.
It was no longer worth playing the game because the only reason people were playing the game was because they were making money.
Yeah.
The game wasn't that fun. It wasn't that good. And when that happened, people stopped playing. So first and foremost, we wanted to make the game really, really fun to play. Whether there was no money involved or not, we wanted to make it really fun. So that was the main focus, making it fun for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you are going to be able to earn money playing Zeus's Chariots. You're also going to be able to play for free and earn money. So we're going to share our ad revenue with our free players. And as people around the world are playing for free, they're going to be getting listed on our global ranking system where we're going to track all their stats.
Beautiful.
And then we'll have a pool of investors that want to come over and sponsor those free players into the paid races for a revenue share. So it's a way to get both sides of the equation involved. We can get players who really can't afford to put money into a game for the opportunity to win. They can play for free. They can earn something during the day. You know, you race 10 or 20 times, you're going to earn $1 or $2 from the ad revenue, something like that.
Yeah.
But you're also going to get ranked, right? And then somebody that's really not interested in playing the game but has money can come over and go, you know what? Eddy's the 7th ranked player in the world.
Let's go.
I think I'm going to put $1,000 to Eddy today and put him into the races and see if we can't both make $700 or $800.
That's beautiful.
Right.
I love that. And one thing that you mentioned really quick before you keep going, I don't want to cut you off. Yeah, one of the things that I noticed with sort of a lot of the play to earn games and all the sort of the crypto style games is they're boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like games that you wouldn't play. You know what I mean? Like there would be no way that you'd want to play that game.
Yeah.
You know, unless if you weren't getting paid. So yeah, I think that, you know, there's a big gap between a game like that, you know, as opposed to, you know, one of the new games that comes out, even like a cell phone game that comes out, it can be reasonably fun. But some of the crypto games that came out, you know, I tried, even Axie Infinity, I tried, I'm like, let me jump on that, you know, because, you know, I play video games with my daughter once in a while and let's check it out. Right. And we'd play that in like a couple minutes. She looked at me and she's like, you expect me to play this? Like what? I was like, I guess not.
Yeah. So I actually had I have 2 boys, 23 and 19.
Okay.
And I had my 19-year-old download Zeus Chariots because we have beta versions right now.
Yeah.
And he downloaded it and he was playing it, and I was explaining to him all the different features and things that it was going to have in it. And he said, wow, I could see where this would be really fun. And I'm like, really? Cool.
That's great. Yeah. You got that.
Did not expect him to say that. I mean,
you're like,
he's one of my best advocates, but at the same time, he doesn't like have much faith in the things that are coming out of our studio and our lab. And, you know, when you live the life of an entrepreneur and a platform builder, like I do,
yeah,
it takes a long time to make things happen. And, you know, as you're saying to your kids, you know, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And then a certain amount of time goes by and none of that happens. Yeah. All of a sudden, the faith is totally lost.
100%, man. I also restaurant owner, right? We did the restaurant. It's been like 15, 16 years. And, you know, and not just my daughter, you know, even with my wife, I'd be like, okay, and you have the big New Year's Eve party. And then it's like, you know, you have the cheers. And I'm like, this year, this is going to be the year.
Right.
And then eventually it gets to the point where she's like, hey, you say that every year. I'm like, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Keep the faith.
Exactly. Keep the faith. I mean, and that's all you can really do is keep the faith, right? Because if we don't have faith in what we're doing, we're going to quit.
Yeah.
Right. We've had people along the way that quit. They couldn't do this anymore. Yeah. They're not involved in any of the projects. They couldn't sustain themselves. We live a life of simpleness right now. You know, over the last year, very little income coming in. Everything that comes in goes back to the business.
Yeah.
Because we want to bring these changes and these things to the world. Yep. And it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice for me. I don't need a lot of things. I live a pretty simple life. I don't need a lifestyle upgrade. I'm looking to make changes in the world that really matter to people, not fatten my own pockets and drive a Lamborghini and have a yacht.
I agree with you, man. You know, I also like whenever you speak things like this, man, it really, it hits close to home for me because we started from a stand, right, and we grew it all the way up into, a pretty well established, nice restaurant now. But I remember, probably the first 10 years, it's just like you're breaking even for like 10 years, and you're like,
Yeah,
man, you
it's
can't
brutal.
go home. You miss your best friend from high school. You've made all these plans, and you're like, when you get married, we're going to do, I can't do anything. He's getting married. I can't go. My nephew has this, big graduation ceremony. I can't go. All this stuff, say like my parents have a big, like a big event or something. And it's like, I can't go because there's no money, and it's just like, no. People say, well, why are you doing it if there's no money? I'm like, because I know one day there will be. I do love it, and when I was working, for somebody else, I actually, it seems to be the cycle, you work for someone else, you save up, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to try to make it on my own. And so I was already there. So it's like, if I go back, it doesn't really make sense. So that's when I started to look at things like crypto and I tried some stocks and stuff like that. It's a little bit tougher, but crypto seems a little bit easier for me to get into. And that's kind of how I met you. And I appreciate it, man. And I'm excited about Zeus's Chariots and all the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, crypto is a great space, and the play to earn is an infant, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
And we're going to put a lot of things into this game that are going to excite people. So not only is it going to be fun to play and you're going to have a chance to win some money, but you're also going to have a chance to win prizes and different things that we're going to be giving away through the collection of puzzle pieces as you're racing around the track.
I love it.
So there's going to be several different things for you to race for. Number one, you can race for points because point leaders going to advance to championship races end of the week, end of the month, end of the year, play for a lot more money. You can race to just destroy other chariots and steal what they have.
I love that.
Okay. You can race for puzzle pieces because they're not just going to be placed on the track as you're going around it right in your way, right? It may be out of the way. Like if you're collecting, maybe you're collecting something for a new Ninja motorcycle, right? And you're trying to collect those puzzle pieces and there's a Ninja piece on the board. You may sacrifice your position of being, first, second, or third in order to go out of your way to grab that puzzle piece.
Yeah, to get that motorcycle.
It doesn't destroy you and steal it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I've been, I also a little bit of an old school gamer. I grew up, we started with Atari and then, in television and stuff like that. And then through the Mario Brothers and stuff like that. And when I had my daughter, I said to myself, I've spent a lot of time, maybe I might have wasted probably a lot of time playing all these console games. And so I said, okay, I sold all my PlayStation stuff. I'm like, okay, boom. And then I had my daughter. And then when she was really little, we took her to Canada and all my nephews were playing Switch and she just kind of like gravitated towards that. And she was just like, boom. And from then till now, she's hooked. Like she likes to, stream Roblox and, Minecraft and stuff like that. She loves that stuff. And so I think that now it's different because if there's a play to earn sort of model, the things like Twitch and stuff like that, obviously that didn't exist when I was growing up, but now, mom would be like, nobody's going to pay, no one's going to pay you to play video games, get a real job. But now it's possible. So it's getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is possible. We hope our players can earn a good living playing Zeus Chariots because, if you're running around the track and you're earning a little bit of money, you're collecting puzzle pieces and prizes, maybe you don't want that Ninja, right? Or maybe you don't want the new TV or whatever it is. So we're going to have a marketplace that you can go and you can list that item for sale.
Yep.
And you can list it for sale at 75% the cost of retail.
Okay.
So it'll always be 25% off.
Okay.
Right. And that's going to help feed our game because if people are going to Zeus Marketplace just to get a good deal on a new Louis Vuitton purse or a TV or whatever it is, they're going to get it for 25% off retail. And then the player is going to make triple their money, whatever they used in order to collect that and obtain that prize. They can either keep it, right, or they can list it on our marketplace with just a click of a button.
I love that. I love like an Amazon, but a better price, and that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we're looking to kind of supplant Amazon.
I think it's great. Amazon, is massive here. There is kind of Amazon, but they ship here. But yeah, there's the Amazon equivalent. Like it's called PC Home. It's a similar thing out here. Yeah, but I think that the online purchases now, it's massive. I mean, everybody buys anything online, and even if you're in a not a supermarket, in like a electronics store or something. Me, at least, if I'm looking at a TV, I've got the salesman telling me stuff. I'll just like step aside, pull up YouTube and be like, reviews for this TV, and I'll check it all out. So I think that, everybody's connected nowadays. And I think that people being able to earn a living playing a video game is fantastic, man. That's beautiful. I love it.
It really is, and it should be suitable for not only people in the US and other, tier 1 countries.
Yeah.
But the particular focus was really on like Taiwan and the Philippines and Malaysia.
Yeah.
In places where, $10, $20, $30 a day really makes a difference for somebody.
Big difference.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though you can get more than that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a baseline. Like if we could put $30 a day into the pockets of somebody on the other side of the world
playing video games,
that's going to make a huge difference in their life.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Axie Infinity had like a huge, massive following in the Philippines where people would just do that full time. I saw all these videos about it. Of course, this was pre-crash, but yeah, I mean, it's not like it's going to stay crashed forever. Things are coming back up, and
no, it's not going to stay crashed forever. And we're not going to tie our token to the decentralized crypto exchanges.
Okay.
And subject our community and our token to the fluctuations of the crypto market at large.
Okay.
We're going to have stable tokenomics. So it's always going to be the same price. That way, our economy doesn't crash and everybody just loses everything. So we want to tie it to a stable, of course, over the last year, like even the stable coins
for sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So what is really safe?
What are we doing?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I planned on launching this game months ago.
Yeah.
But as our vision grew, the game grew. Right. And now all of a sudden I've got all these pieces in there that I simply don't want to release the game with all of that in there, without all of that in there.
Sure.
We need it all.
Yeah.
Because our main goal, it's great. I want to have players around the world earning money. We want to be a big success. We want to give away puzzles and prizes and things of that nature. But the true intention of the game is really on the back end for our humanitarian causes.
Okay.
We have a real problem in this world. That 2 million hours a day is how much time is spent from people carrying water on this planet.
Oh, 2 million a day. Ooh,
2 million hours a day.
I did not know that. Okay.
Kids aren't going to school. Nobody's being productive. They're so busy carrying water. So we want to bring food, fuel, water, and money to communities around the world. And that's the true intention of this game, is the humanitarian aspect on the back end.
Yeah.
So I'm working with a global team of entrepreneurs that have access to world-changing advanced technologies.
Yes.
Okay. So my plan was to put these technologies into communities that really, really need it. 3 in particular, right off the bat. It's each one of these is a 40-foot shipping container.
Okay.
One is a retractable windmill that produces up to 1,500 gallons a day of green hydrogen fuel.
Oh, wow.
And it also mines cryptocurrency.
Oof, nice.
Okay.
Double,
and then next to that, we want to put another 40-foot shipping container that's outfitted for vertical hydroponic farming.
Oh.
And then a third one, which is a massive atmospheric water generator, pulling clean drinking water directly out of the air without having to drill a well or go through the expense of pumping that water out of the well. So
that's amazing.
Food, fuel, water, and money will really make a difference to communities around the world. Money in people's pockets, them having fun playing a video game, that's an amazing front end, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. But the true intention is helping humanity. I want people to have fun. I want people to make money, but we're in a lot of trouble in this world, right? The power structure that controls everything is tightening their grip. Access to clean drinking water is very limited. In a lot of places, a bottle of Coke is cheaper than water.
Yes, it's unbelievable. It's funny because when I My family's from Mexico, so even when we go to Mexico, the food in there, it's relative. It's of course it's very good. It's relatively cheap, right? Inexpensive, especially when you go to sort of the areas where my family is from. But if you go out, and you're going to go and get some food at a taqueria or something like that, the soda, the beer, the drinks are cheaper than the water. And it's crazy. And that's just Mexico. That's like the neighbor to the US. It's crazy.
Right.
And growing up, I always thought, how can it be cheaper? It's crazy. Yeah. Mind blowing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It is crazy, man. And it's not right.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not right. So for a long time now, this planet's been run by the controllers that are all about greed and control and corruption. And it's rampant at every level, from governments to big institutions, right down to individuals, especially in the crypto world, right? It's like everything's a pitfall. You never know when something's going to be a rug pull. It's just straight out Ponzi.
Yeah.
It looks good. People join every day and lose, I don't know, hundreds of millions daily to these scammers over there.
Yeah, it's the new scam. And then when there is something that's kind of a little more legit, like something legit, it's tough. I mean, even like something like Bitcoin. I have a couple of friends that are bankers and stuff, and investors, and they're like, no, don't touch it. I'm like, but Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and they're like, no, don't even touch Bitcoin. It's like, really? That's it's tough. It's tough. But I think I think things like the food and the water, that's huge. I love the hydroponic thing, because that once that, I don't know who invented that, but once that was out there and that was a common knowledge, I always thought, why isn't everywhere using that? Because instead of having these massive fields, you could build up. It's crazy. Yeah.
And a lot of the reason for that is power consumption, right? Because the lights that it typically takes to grow food inside are expensive. But with the advent of LEDs, and they're becoming more and more technologically advanced, consuming less power, putting off a broader, brighter spectrum of light, it makes growing indoors a lot more feasible.
Okay. Very cool. I just quickly, one more thing on Chariots. I have a restaurant, so I'm always half of my job is entertaining, right? So like it's a service business. That's what you do. So I'm always thinking of, things like the Chariots. You could have, like Zeus's chariot parties. There could be parties where restaurants and like groups of people could get together and have like the old school LAN party, but playing Zeus's Chariots. Everybody making money, everyone having a good time. I'm really excited about the game.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of potential for what we can do here. It could even be in casinos, like the slot machines, except it could be Zeus Chariots. It's the same thing. And we do have an in with a lot of the casinos, even new casinos that are being built in the US and abroad.
I love that.
So there's going to be a lot of avenues for us to spread this far and wide. And we're not going to do it until the time is right. Right. I'm not going to release a half a game. I'm not going to release before we're ready, because you only get one chance at launch.
100%. I agree. And
this is too important to just put out into the world and hope people see it and download it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think we've been waiting. And I think, now that things like the Zenith community has kind of taken it to the next level, I think we should just take as long as we have to. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. With these new opportunities that have presented itself and fallen into our lap, so to speak, it really gives us a chance to build out exactly what we want.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So transitioning, speaking of, are we still calling it the Zenith community, right? The parallel.
Or the parallel society.
Okay. So if someone were to ask you what that was all about, what would you say?
So the Parallel Society, or the Zenith Society, is a community of people that care more about others than they do for themselves, intrinsically. And we also believe that by helping others get what they want, we too will get what we want.
That's the golden rule. Yeah.
We think that the world has been ruled by corruption and greed and selfishness for far too long, especially at the top corporate levels, where everything is hoarded and sold to the highest bidder, right? They think we have a population problem on this planet, and we do. There's not enough of us, right?
Okay.
The only problem is we don't live in harmony with the earth, right? We use drilling and pulling and exploding in order to get the things that we need to survive on this planet, when everything is already right here in abundance all around us every day. We don't need to be raping the earth. We don't need to be burning these fuels. We don't need the combustible engine to explode molecules to propel us forward. There's a lot better ways to do things. And I'm working with a group of people that have access to world-changing technologies that will actually make a difference on this planet.
Yeah.
From power amplification to atmospheric water generation to new construction technologies. There's things that we can do to make this place better for everybody. Okay. And we're starting that in Africa.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did it start? So, you starting with the Zeus, the Chariots, and then you started to meet more people. So how did the transition be like, we've got this game, and then all of a sudden we've got this basically society to help change the world. How did that happen?
Yeah. It kind of happened organically, right?
Okay.
Which is the best way for things to happen. I started working with one of our NFT holders, Kyle Dunn, last year. We worked for a while going back and forth about all these different things that he has access to. Kyle's been working for like 2 years, gathering all these technologies, all these companies, looking for funding for them, getting a little equity in them along the way.
Yeah.
And so I started working with Kyle last year. Sorry, I got an itch.
Hey man, my daughter gave me a cold today, and now it's getting late, and I'm like, woof, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. And so we started working together last year. And first we were looking at different tokenomics and the coin. And I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of rulings coming down by the SEC.
Sure.
I don't want to really be involved in anything that might be considered a security.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not interested in creating securities fraud.
Yeah.
So we went through multiple versions, and then we kind of scrapped that whole idea. And then it just kind of grew from there. And we're working with a company called Green Infra Group.
Yep.
And they have a lot of access to technologies, as well as a lot of other technology partners. We're kind of bringing them under one umbrella.
Okay.
So we have power amplification technology that, it's almost like perpetual energy. It's not self-producing. It needs seed power.
Okay.
But it's something that will change this planet.
Very close. Okay.
And we have construction technology that speeds up construction like by 50, 60%. We have concrete technology that the concrete can actually store power and the building can draw off of it.
That's
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had put in a bid for a $72 billion infrastructure project in Namibia, Africa.
Yeah.
Project called Cape Freya. It's basically building Dubai on the west coast of Africa.
I love it.
And just a couple of weeks ago, we got that project. The contract is signed. They're ready for us to come out there and start working.
Okay.
But then we had another segment of our team go to Zanzibar and Tanzania. So Zanzibar is on the east coast of Africa. It's a tropical paradise that's basically underdeveloped.
I've Googled it, man. Once you mentioned it, you said, Google it. And I said, yeah, you know what? I will. And I Googled it. It looks like the Maldives, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Exactly. Crystal clear water, just beautiful, great temperatures. So we went there to bid on a bridge from Zanzibar to Tanzania, from the island to the mainland. It's a 26-mile bridge.
Wow. Big one. Okay.
Our bridge isn't just a bridge for cars to travel over. Our bridge is going to be producing power, right?
Okay.
For both countries. We're going to have a lot of our technologies on that bridge. So
with like the power storing concrete, stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the retractable windmills that can produce all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So not only did we get the bridge, which was like a $45 billion project.
Wow.
We got an entire country.
Okay.
We got an entire country. They basically told us, you guys can build whatever you want.
Wow. Okay.
Whatever you vision, you guys can build. And then we got basically unlimited funding for it.
Ooh,
right? It's
that's
not in the millions, not in the billions, but it starts with a T.
it starts with
And
a
that's
T.
how much funding we got. So in 2 weeks, we're all going back to Zanzibar to begin this construction process. It's probably going to be a 30 to 40 year build out
Okay.
for Zanzibar and Tanzania.
Yeah.
But that's just one spot. Like we
Yeah.
have power purchase agreements from a dozen other African nations. We have commitments from them to build smart cities.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to be bringing all of this green technology to Africa in all the different nations.
That's beautiful.
And we're going to help bring them out of the poverty-stricken environment that they've been forced into.
Yeah.
With the foot of the world elite on their neck.
It seems to
right?
be. Yeah. Yeah.
The
yeah.
only way Africa can get ahead is if they take on debt from the world banking system.
Okay.
Right. But Africa is one of the richest nations on the planet as far as assets in the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's where all the gems and stones all come from, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Like for example, Zimbabwe. Right.
Okay.
Zimbabwe is one of the poorest countries on this planet. Like literally you can get a Zimbabwe note that's worth like $1 billion. Right. I have $1 billion Zim in one note. Right. Their currency is so deflated. It's worth nothing.
Sad. Yeah.
But yet they have some of the biggest diamond reserves in all of the planet.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So now what's happening in Africa, in other parts of the world, is when the U.S. delegates and the world bankers come to them and say, yeah, we'll give you $5 billion to help bring you out of this. We just need your mineral rights and your water rights and your people.
Yeah.
Well, now they're starting to stand up.
Everything.
Go,
Shoot.
No, we don't need your money. Especially in Ghana, right? The king of Ghana stood up and said, no, we don't want you here, right? They've discovered a lot of assets in the ground in Ghana.
That's great.
And we can help these countries. So one of the technologies that we have access to is a satellite that uses nuclear magnetic resonance, like an MRI machine.
Okay.
But it can see up to 8 miles into the earth, below the surface of the earth, and under the ocean as well. So we can pinpoint with precision where a country's assets are located and how much of them. The only thing we can't do is tell the quality of it while it's in the ground.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? So we can go in, we can identify oil reserves, gold deposits, anything else, anything on the periodic table.
Anything. Wow. Okay.
And then we can actually monetize those assets for them without them ever pulling them out of the ground. Okay, as long as they're in the ground and they're verified, we can actually monetize that note and we can get the money needed to build the infrastructure that country needs.
Okay, without them having to go and through that process you were just saying. Okay.
Yeah, which is huge because
yeah.
Zanzibar and Tanzania in particular, they've never had a geological survey done. They used similar technologies back in the 60s and 70s to map out their lands with the brush and the hills and the fields and all of that, but never anything to identify any of their resources in the ground.
Okay. Wow.
So, we basically changed their country with one phone call with their Ministry of Mines and our technology. And so now we're going to be able to come over there. We're going to be able to scan their ground. We're going to be able to identify any oil deposits, any gold deposits, any natural gas, anything at all. And we're going to help be able to bring those nations into first world country statuses.
Oh, well, that's amazing.
Yeah. Like in the next 10 years, Zanzibar should be a massive tourist attraction.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so huge because, I mean, if they've never had it scanned, they're probably sitting on like trillions of dollars in assets there, right? That's amazing.
Yeah, probably trillions. We've got one piece of property that this company has scanned. They found $7 trillion worth of gold.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is. What's even more incredible is that piece of land is for sale for $150 million.
Okay, so did they buy it?
I mean, and the people that own it, they have no clue.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, they told us if you could fund us and give us the $150 million, you guys can have 25% of the project.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we won't wait 10 years for those assets to be mined. we're probably just going to flip that property, right? We
Yeah.
buy it for 150. We'd verify the assets on the ground, get it certified, and then we'd flip it for a trillion or 900 billion or something like that.
Wow, that's massive. That's it's like flipping a house, right? That's amazing. Wow.
It is amazing. And these poor
Yeah.
people, right? They're going to be super happy. Yeah, we just got $150 million for our property.
That's even,
and then a month later, they're like, they sold it for what? 900 billion.
Wow. But I mean, even for one person, 150 is probably okay. That's probably good money.
Really
yeah.
And this company's located probably $25 trillion worth of assets in the locations that they've scanned. So it's amazing technology. There was a company in the Nevada desert that was drilling for water for like 6 months in this location. They were about to give up.
Okay.
They went over there and they scanned the property. They found a 5-foot wide aquifer, 200 feet below the surface. Told them exactly where to drill, and they nailed it dead center on the first try.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So gone are the days of like, just kind of drilling those holes and kind of digging for oil, when you're seeing those old movies from like the 60s, they kind of,
they can be gone.
I don't know if that still happens.
It cost $100,000 to scan a square mile.
Okay. Wow.
So it's not cheap.
Yeah.
You got to move the satellite in space and all these other things that are involved with it. It's not cheap, but it's certainly well worth it. If you're, in oil exploration or looking for gold deposits, then, that's not that big of an expense.
I mean, you were talking about oceans as well. So, I mean, you could find the sunken treasures and all that stuff if you
did,
right?
Man. The first image that I saw from this company was actually Kyle sent it to me. And I'm like, what the heck am I looking at here? He's like, that's a shipwreck. He's like, anywhere it says CB, that's a cannonball, right? Over here is the emeralds. Here's the gold bars. Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like one of those movies, man. That's wow. That's unbelievable.
It was really cool.
Okay. Wow. And 8 miles deep. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And it is the most advanced scanning technology on the planet as far as being able to see into the earth. There are others that do it as well. And they can see like, maybe a couple thousand meters.
Okay.
But they can't see 8 miles.
Wow. That's a big jump. A couple thousand meters to 8 miles. Beautiful.
Yeah, it is a big jump. So it's really great technology.
That's speaking of also technology, you mentioned a few times the healing technology and the Zeus healing centers and stuff like that. Maybe you could talk a little about that.
Sure. So, not only do we want to help heal the planet and heal communities around the world and heal the earth, right? We want to heal people too. We have access to some of the most advanced healing technologies on the planet. You might have heard like med bed style technologies that kind of restore our bodies. That's basically what we have. So our main healing technology is called SANZA, and it's a pulse electromagnetic field therapy.
Okay.
It's a German company. They've been doing research for like 30 years. And this technology is amazing. Our cells in our body begin to run low, right? It's like our cell phone batteries.
Yeah.
The SANZA machine will recharge your cells. So I've seen the images of the blood work.
Okay.
So normally, through our normal day-to-day life, our blood cells, our red blood cells are kind of clumping together. They call them stacks. They clump together. They flow really slow. When they clump together, they trap our white blood cells, while all the free radicals you can just see spotted throughout the blood, not getting picked up by the white blood cells because the white blood cells can't move freely.
Okay.
So after a 15-minute session of laying on the SANZA mat, it breaks up all that clumping in our blood.
Okay.
It recharges the vital energy in every cell in our body, and our blood begins to flow normally again. The white blood cells can do their job, whether it's eliminating the free radicals or possibly picking up medications or whatever and delivering to the body. Your body can function as intended once we get the blood flowing correctly. And it's actually 4 therapies in once. There's a mat that you can lay on. You do that daily, once or twice a day.
There's some kind of wand as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a laser light.
Okay.
So if you're using the SANZA on a regular basis, once or twice a day, you're probably going to slow down your aging. You're going to have amazing energy.
Everybody
You're not going to
wants.
get sick. You won't get cancer, Parkinson's, ALS. You're not going to get any of these inflictions. You're not going to get cancer because our body is running at optimal strength. So my partner, Karen, who has the rights to this technology for North America and the Philippines, her father started using this at 75 or 78. He had COPD, prostate issues, diabetic, and anything else that comes with a 75 or 78-year-old person.
Sure. Of course. Yeah.
Well, now he's 95, and he doesn't know what pain is. And every year he gets more and more healthy.
Wow.
So we have the ability to live to 120, 130 years old, and we can do it pain-free, disease-free. We can remember who we are. We don't have to give all of our damn money to the pharmaceutical companies at the end of our life and get stuck into some care facility. We don't have to do that. We have the technologies to make people healthy. So that's one of our main products. And then another one that we're going to be doing is we're going to be building out these healing centers using EE systems, enhanced energy systems. And it's basically just a room full of computer screens that put off scalar waves and photon light. Our bodies have the ability to heal itself. We've all heard of stories of miraculous healing. Doctors will call it a miracle. Your cancer went away. That's a miracle, whatever it is. Our bodies can do anything.
I believe it. I agree. Yeah.
When you sit in a scalar field environment created by these systems, that is the ideal environment for our bodies to be able to block out all the other noise and to begin to restore itself. So there's probably 150, 160 of these centers around the world. And the stories coming out of them are, people getting cured of cancer, lifelong debilitating diseases, chronic pain, blindness, no more blindness. They can see again.
That's great. So there's centers already, about 150 all over the world. Okay. Are they mostly in the States or are they all Europe?
Yeah, they're mostly in the States. There are some others around the world. But mostly in the States. They've been exploding since COVID. I believe that obviously we live in a duality, right? This world is a duality. You can't have cold without hot. You can't have pain without joy. You can't.
Yin yang.
You have to experience both ends of the spectrum. So while there's this big push by the evildoers of the world for control, everything that they're doing to poison the world, there is an equal and opposite power on the other side, right? That is battling them. I mean, there has to be when they poison billions of people. Right. There has to be something out there, something out there that is the counter of that. And that's what we are. That's what EE system is. That's what Sansa is. That's what everything is all about. We are the counter to the evil in this world.
I love it.
So
I love that.
Nobody needs to be going through the things. Everybody knows somebody now that is sick, right? It was bad enough before. It was bad enough before, but now, for whatever's happened, whatever they've done, people are dying left and right. It's really, really sad. We're working with some of the people in our inner circle. Part of our administration, our executive team are in the music industry. Hip hop and rap.
Love it.
And in their circle of friends or family is Jamie Foxx.
I was just going to say Jamie Foxx. Is this what is going on with Jamie Foxx? Because I've read so many different things, but
From what we understand, he is paralyzed and blind from a blood clot in his brain from the COVID vaccine.
I love Jamie Foxx. It's crazy. And he
was pressured to take fit. He was pressured to take the shot on a movie that he was doing. He didn't want to do it, but they pressured him and he did it. And now he got a blood clot in his brain, and now he's stuck paralyzed and blind. But I think we can help him. I think our technology is so powerful that we could actually bring him out of his paralyzed state and restore his eyesight.
Wow.
So, and we do have access to be able to do that. So
that would be Amazing. Because first of all,
And
everybody
it all
loves
starts
Jamie
with
Foxx.
quantum reading, right? It
Yeah.
all starts
Okay.
with quantum reading. So,
Okay.
Eddie, I don't know if you know this or not, if you know much about quantum physics or anything like that, but
I don't know much about it, but
there's no
go ahead.
separation between any of us. Like
Okay.
literally, there's no separation. We are one thing, and there is a
Okay.
quantum field that ties us all together.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a machine that can do a quantum reading on you. You can answer about a 10-minute questionnaire that we ask you. And then
Okay.
this machine will find you in the quantum field, and it will inspect your energy field and your body and give you a report that will blow your mind. It will know everything about you. It will tell you things about yourself that you didn't even know.
Wow. Okay. That's definitely interesting. I'd love to check something like that out. That's very cool.
Yeah. And from that
Wow.
quantum reading, we'll be able to find out exactly where the problem lies.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
We'll know what's the cause of the paralyzed.
Okay.
I don't know how you say that in past tense, but
Yeah.
and his
Paralysis.
blindness.
I don't
And
know.
then we'll be able to figure out how to go about fixing it.
Okay.
But it's incredible technology, and it just proves that this place isn't what we've been told. We're not what we've been told and what we've been taught.
Okay.
We are so much more. We are so much more. We are gods, and we don't even know it. Even Jesus said, "Ye are gods, and you do not know it. As I do these things, so you shall too, and greater."
Yep.
Okay. So we've been fooled into believing that we are nothing, that we have no power, that we have no abilities, that we're all separate, that we're separate from the animals on this planet, we're separate from the planet itself, and we're separate from one another. And all of that is a lie. We are all one thing. You are me, I am you. I would never do anything to harm you, steal from you, because that's the same thing as harming and stealing from myself. And that's, if the world accepted that attitude and that ideal, we would be in a lot better place. Right? Why would I do things to you when you are me?
Yeah.
Right? When we all die and we leave here and we go back to where we came from, we're going to realize, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize who I was.
Yeah. I've always, my family's Mexican, so I grew up Catholic, but I don't know if that's the biggest influence, but yeah, I've always been, it's kind of like a karma thing. I'm always really nice to everybody. And yeah, I mean, not everybody's like that.
No, not everybody's
like
out
there.
that.
Yeah. Some
And
craziness.
that's part of the duality, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the duality, because the people that are ruling this planet right now are in service to self, right? They're seeking God through service to self.
Okay.
They're selfish, they're greedy, they want to enslave the population, take control, and you can find God that way. In my opinion, you can find God that way. You can advance, but the other way is service to others, right? Which takes a lot less effort than service to self. When you serve each other and you serve humanity, then that, in my opinion, is a much better avenue towards the creator than service to self.
Yeah, man. I think it's, I agree 100%. Yeah. I've always thought that way. And yeah, sometimes you get burned here and there, but it just seems to be, sometimes bad things happen, and, we just try to take it in stride, and still
bad
just
things
be nice
always
to people.
happen, dude.
Be
That's
nice.
just the way it is. Almost like the more good you do, the more bad that happens to you.
Don't tell my wife that, man. She tells me that all the
time. For 2 decades, my wife has been trying to get me to stop helping people.
Stop being nice to everybody.
Yeah. Every time you reach out, you help somebody, and you go out of your way, you get burned. Stop. I'm like, I can't stop. That's a reflection of them, not on me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop helping people.
I agree. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's one of the things that I'm always, I'm always in trouble for. It's like, why did you help them? They always rip you off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just what we should do.
That's right. It is what we should do.
Yeah.
In my presentation for the Zenith Society, I say that we're creating a structure that's going to help people.
Okay.
And it's almost like a charity.
Yeah.
Okay. Except I don't really like the word charity, right? Charity kind of means that we've done something above and beyond the normal.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That we've become charitable and we've given to something. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think that should be something extra and above and beyond normal. I think
Okay.
helping another human being is something that's inherent within all of us. And that
Okay.
is something that we should just naturally do with no expectation of return.
I agree. I
Right?
agree 100%. Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. So I mentioned at the beginning of this, I was trying to create platforms for the last 5 years that help the average person. You know,
Okay.
people join opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and it's like 2 or 3% of the people that make all the money,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And everybody else, they donate to the cause. They buy
Yeah.
these expensive monthly auto ships or blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
You're not
Well,
active unless you auto ship. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Me too.
So I've been on a mission to create things where anybody could join and they're going to make some money no matter their efforts, no matter what happens, no matter how successful they are or unsuccessful they are, if they never even open their mouth. Right? We
Right.
want to really put money into people's pockets so they can feed their family, they can think clearly. We believe we need an army of people on our mission of changing the world, healing the planet, doing good for humanity. The more people we have, the harder it's going to be for them to shut us down. And they will want to shut us down.
Sure.
Okay? You don't just go out and do these types of things without any opposition. Okay. So they will want to shut us down. So we need millions and millions and millions of people on board with us, little soldiers carrying our message and tapped into the things that we're doing. And we think the best way to get people to pay attention and to listen is to put money in their pocket. Because if you're struggling every single day just to make ends meet, take care of your family, work both jobs, you don't have time to even look up from your little bubble to see that your neighbor is also struggling.
It's head
Everybody
down.
is struggling.
Yeah. It's head
Everybody
down.
needs help.
Get it done. Take care of my family. And then you
That's
look
it.
up and it's over. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. So if we can start putting money into people's pockets and they can start lifting their head from the morass that they've been in, and they can start looking around and seeing that, my God, there is something that we can do to help people, then maybe they will listen to our message and maybe they will join forces with us.
I love
All
it.
you need to do is love other people, right? And think that humanity does have hope.
Yeah.
And there are ways to improve this planet and to improve people's lives without taking, without hoarding, without being greedy. Then you should come be a part with us, because we're going to blow this thing out of the water. And we're going to funnel money into the system once it's released. And people are going to be like, oh my God, like I joined this thing 3 days ago. I've made $300 already. And I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so we're going to be layering all this healing technology. We're going to be layering all these different things that you're going to be able to tap into.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to pay a one-time fee. And all of a sudden, maybe in 3 months, you get one of these terahertz wands in the mail. Okay. This is another healing technology using terahertz, scalar waves, and heat. Okay. This thing is amazing. I talked to a gentleman that's given away about 100 of these to the sickest people that he could find on Facebook.
Okay.
And he said, Tim, it didn't just help 1 or 2 of them. It helped all of them, no matter their condition. Some of them were on their deathbeds, like literally laying in the hospital, waiting to die, when they sent them one of these and they started using it and it brought them back.
Wow. That's
okay. This is the most affordable piece of technology that we have. A Sansa is about $16,000.
Okay. Okay.
You can get one of these for a few hundred.
Oh, okay. That's more affordable for sure.
It's much more affordable. And I use this. So I have a friend using my Sansa machine right now, right? His wife has Crohn's, and I wanted him to treat her. So he's been using it. And I hadn't used this in a few weeks since I had my Sansa. This last weekend, I helped my wife at a farmer's market type of an event. She sells a lot of dog stuff. So Saturday was like a 15-hour day on her feet. And Friday was like a 9 or 10-hour day. And both of our feet hurt. Right?
I know the feeling. Yeah.
I came home Friday night and I used the wand on my feet, and it felt really good.
Okay.
I used the wand on her feet because she was too lazy to do it herself.
Yeah.
Actually, her knees hurt so bad she couldn't bend her legs to get the wand on her feet. So I sat on the floor and I wanded it for her.
Wow. Beautiful. Okay.
So woke up the next morning. She wasn't expecting to be able to like stand right away.
Yeah.
She actually said that she got up in bed and she braced herself for standing up.
Okay.
And there was almost no pain.
Wow.
Like for both of us. This thing is amazing.
Okay. I love that. Oh, I definitely have to get one
we're
of those.
going to work it into where at some point in time, you're going to get one of these just by joining us and just by going through our process.
I love it. I love it.
You're going to get that. And we want to help people. And we want to help people to the point where, like, we're not looking to make money off the backs of people. I hate that more than anything.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that have been following me for a long time, and they struggle paycheck to paycheck.
I know a lot
or they're on Social Security, fixed income. And I just hate it when they have to come out of pocket for something when I know they can't afford it, but yet they have to do something in order to supplement what they have because they can't get by on that alone.
Yep.
So we really want to give to people without the people really having to give back to us, because that doesn't ever really happen, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. You can't give to people unless they're giving to you. And usually they give more than anybody else gets. Well, with all of our massive projects and technologies that we have, the money's going to be coming from someplace else. It's an outside source. And we're just going to funnel a certain percentage of it into our system to pay people.
Yeah. I think
so. It's not coming from the backs of you and me and your neighbor and, people retired and on Social Security. It's going to be coming from nation states. It's going to be coming from gold and oil and gas.
Okay.
And manufacturing, right? No, it's going to be coming from real world assets that's going to be flowing into our system.
I love that, man. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm all in for all of it. If you ever need me for anything, let me know. I've got one last question. Part of this is going to fund something called Camp Last Hope, right?
Yes.
So just maybe let's touch on Camp Last Hope a little bit before we call it. Yeah, please.
So we're going to be creating Camp Last Hopes. So the system that we're going to be building out is maybe familiar to some of your listeners. It's like an MLM type of structure, a cycler program where you kind of move from board to board to board, except all those are flawed. None of them work. So we've completely redesigned it for it to actually work. And we are going to be raising money for something we call Camp Last Hope.
Yes.
Camp Last Hope is kind of just like it sounds, right? We're going to be buying campgrounds or different places like that in the US and other parts of the world. And this is going to be a place for our members to go when shit hits the fan, if shit hits the fan, right?
Yeah.
The US and the Western world is in serious decline. Serious decline. Things are going to happen and people aren't going to have any place to go. So they're going to be able to come to Camp Last Hope. We're going to have food, fuel, clean water, place to stay. And while everything is good, it's going to be a revenue center.
Okay.
Right. We're going to use it as like a campground. So it's going to be generating revenue that we can pump back into the system to pay people.
Okay.
And then our members, once they reach a certain rank within our system, if they choose, they're going to be able to go and live and operate a Camp Last Hope.
It's cool.
So the system that we're building out right now has 30 levels that you move through.
Okay.
Some of those levels include doing 40 hours of volunteer work in your community.
Okay.
Right. Doing 10 acts of kindness.
Okay.
Becoming a coach with us and talking to people.
Okay.
And you just move your way through. And once you get to a certain spot, you'll be offered the opportunity to live and run a Camp Last Hope.
Beautiful.
If you
choose.
Sounds
great. That sounds great, man. I love that. I love all the stuff that's coming together. And it all started from a play to earn video game. That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. So you never know where things are going to go. Every day a new door opens for us. Every day a new technology lands in our lap, and every day a new funding source appears.
I'm excited to hear how you do on your flight to Africa.
Thanks.
It's a long one.
Kyle just got back from a 20-hour flight.
Did he?
And then he was getting harassed by customs.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you go? Who'd you talk to? What'd you do? Kyle says, it's none of your business.
That happened to me one of the times I went back home. What are you doing in Taiwan? I'm just like thinking to myself, where can they possibly deport me to? Like I'm Canadian. Right. Like what what's going on here? We might have to check your luggage.
Yeah,
Go for it.
They checked his luggage, and like the cop that they assigned to him told him, Kyle said, this guy was asking me all these questions, and the cop was like, you don't have to tell him anything.
Yeah.
He's like, I know, so I didn't. And now they're just going through all my stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy
It's
how
what
that
you
works.
need after a 20-hour flight back from Africa.
That's even longer than the ones that I've done, man. Hopefully I'm getting back this summer.
Good.
This is the plan is this summer. I got to get back and visit the family. Yeah. Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So, brother, I appreciate it. For any of you guys that are watching right now, if you're interested, in the description below, we've got a link to the Facebook page. Is there a better link that I should share as well, Tim?
No, not right now.
Okay. Okay.
Right now, that's what we've got.
Okay.
We had something else built out, but it wasn't very functional.
Okay. Okay.
So we're going to be building something new out this week for people.
Okay.
But the Facebook page is a great place to start because that's where we're putting all the information. And if anybody wants to reach out,
beautiful,
they're welcome to.
Okay. Sounds good. So that's already in the description below. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time, and I'm glad that we waited until now because so much is happening.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you guys for watching. Do you have anything you want to say before we cut it, my man, Tim?
No, I don't think so, man.
All right.
I think we covered everything pretty well. So
beautiful. Okay, man. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next